Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, I think what we're talking about here is a fundamental value proposition of fairness. I think you mentioned, Mr. Lips, in your opening statement that pluck one or two incidences that were brought to you by Inspector General. I think it needs to be pointed out. But what I'd like to use my time more so for, and we'll wrestle through where those lines are. But again, back to the point, when we have a flourishing economy, which when labor participation rates are going up, where people are finding access to meaningful work, this hopefully will begin to translate really soon into upward pressure on wages. So it's not the Commerce Department or the Labor's Department issue set, it's this issue set as well. How do we protect those most in need who may need to be permanently on this program? And we not only accept that, we embrace that as part of our safety net. How do we, through job training and other innovative ideas, potentially help those who can successfully transition off and celebrate this moment because the opportunity for meaningful work and hopefully rising wages soon is on the horizon? That's the architecture of the main question. The second question is, I want to go back to what I said earlier. You cannot have a food and nutrition program in isolation from concepts of health, food as medicine. And I think we are all learning very, very rapidly that a holistic approach to health demands that food be an integral part of the approach here. So would you comment on both of those, the prospects for both of those outcomes?
Sure. Thanks for that, Mr. Fortenberry. I will say one thing that I think all of us in this room can agree on and that we can rally behind is the employment training program that Congress has authorized for the SNAP program. We got a small increase in that in the Farm Bill. The agency has taken a number of actions prior to my arrival and since my arrival to focus our efforts on that front. It is a good time in this economy for people to move back into work and for them to find economic mobility on that front.
I'd say meaningful work. It's very important that we make a distinction here. Not just labor force participation, that's impersonal. Meaningful work. So people have real opportunity to advance.
That's right. Let me talk about that for a minute.
And that's been one of the structural constraints that don't allow people to move forward.
Right. With regard to the employment training program, the agency has taken a very specific focus in ensuring that individuals are moved into the type of an employment training that moves them into meaningful work, that we're not just putting them at job search. That may be an important component of what they're doing, but I have had the great pleasure in my job of going around and seeing these individuals participating in an employment training program and hearing the stories of formerly incarcerated individuals who were estranged from their families going through these training programs and learning not only a particular skill set that gets them meaningful work, but the basics of being able to hold on and to keep a job and being reunited with their family that they're then providing for. I have the opportunity to meet those people. Employment training is doing that. It's a wonderful program that Congress has funded and provided us some additional money in the Farm Bill.
Are your successes manifesting themselves in aggregate statistics versus anecdotes yet?
I think we're on the verge of that happening. In some states we see that happen. One of the initiatives that y'all provided some funds for in the Appropriations bill was one of the problems that states have in advancing this program is tracking this and being able to report what's required to receive these federal dollars. So y'all provided some money for us to be able to help states with the IT on that
Okay,
side.
let's come back to that perhaps later, but talk again about the alignment of food, nutrition, and health and what you are doing in terms of policy planning in this regard.
Sure. That starts at FNS with our youngest population in WIC. We all know there's a lot of data out there that if the youngest of these children don't get the nutrition they need at that early age, there's no way to correct that. Later in the life, some of that can be corrected, but not on WIC. And so we look at that as a across the lifespan perspective, both as we produce the dietary guidelines for Americans, but also as we look at our programs and ensuring that that nutrition is had from their
as one of the early founders of the Farm to School program and movement, again, you can see what we're trying to do. Provide nutritious, fresh options, enculturating it, socializing it, and creating actually the infrastructure that makes it possible for this type of linkage to occur in an ongoing fashion in the future. That's one of the program areas I think we need to build on to accomplish this goal of nutritious food.
Anecdotally, Farm to School is having great success on children's health.